assembled devotees. Jai Shri Shri Guru Gauranga, Jai Shri Prabhupada. Om Jnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sutta Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhu Vyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So, reading today from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Lila, chapter 9. Are there actually names for the chapters? Not really, no? Let's see. Well, there are no names, but this is the most beautiful chapter in the whole Chaitanya Charitamrita. The chapter, I will call it the chapter of the tree of devotional service. It's one of the favorite chapters of my Guru Maharaj. In fact, it's because it shows the importance of our small, insignificant service towards towards Guru, towards Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, towards his mission. And today we will read the text number 12. We will recite it together, and we will read until text 15 with the purport. Nijachintya satyamale hanaskandahaya Nijachintya shaktyamale hanaskandahaya Sakalas shakharase skandam mulashraya Sakala shakharase skandam mulashraya Nijachintya shaktyamale hanaskandahaya Sakalas shakharase skandhamulashraya Us Nijachintya shaktyamale hanaskandahaya Sakala shakharase skandhamulashraya Nijachintya shaktyamale hanaskandahaya Sakala shakharase skandhamulashraya Nijachintya Sakyamalihanaskandahaya Sakala Shakara Skandamula Shraya Nijachintya Sakyamalihanaskandahaya Sakala Shakara Skandamula Shraya Nija, his own, Achintya, inconceivable, Shakti, by potency, Mali, gardener, Hana, becoming, Skanda, truck, Hayam, become, Sakala, all, Shakara, of the branches, say that, Skanda, truck, Mula Ashraya, original support. Translation by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. By His inconceivable powers, the Lord became the gardener, the trunk, and the branches simultaneously. So there is description of this tree of devotional service. It said that the seed of devotional service next fructified in the form of Ishvara Puri, who was the spiritual master of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then the gardener himself, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, became the main trunk of the tree of devotional service. And then by his inconceivable powers, the Lord became the gardener, the trunk, and the branches simultaneously. Now we will just read the verses, the text number 13 to 15, and their longer purport, really long purport. Paramananda Puri Ara Keshava Bharati, Brahmananda Puri Ara Brahmananda Bharati, Vishnu Puri Keshava Puri, Puri Krishnananda, Shri Nrisimha Tirtha Ara, Puri Sukhananda, Einavamula Nikashila Vrikshamule, Einavamule Vriksha Karila Nishchale. Translation. Paramananda Puri, Keshava Bharati, Brahmananda Puri, and Brahmananda Bharati. Shri Vishnu Puri, Keshava Puri, Krishnananda Puri, Shri Nrisimha Tirtha, and Sukhananda Puri. These are 9 sannyasi roots, all supported from the trunk of the tree. Thus the tree stood steadfastly on the strength of these 9 roots. So, those are followers of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Some of them are even the god brothers of his spiritual master. Some of them just his followers. And those are the roots, the support of this tree. And in the purport, Srila Prabhupada is describing some of them who are mentioned, who are described more extensively in Chaitanya Charitamrita or Chaitanya Bhagavatam. So purport, Paramananda Puri. Paramananda Puri belonged to a Brahmana family of the Trihut district in Uttar Pradesh. Madhavendra Puri was his spiritual master. Madhavendra Puri was also spiritual master of Ishvara Puri, who was spiritual master of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Paramananda Puri was a god brother of the spiritual master of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In relationship with Madhavendra Puri, Paramananda Puri was very dear to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In the Chaitanya Bhagavata, Antya Lila, chapter 11, there is following statement. I will, by your permission, skip the Bengali and just read the translation. Among his sannyasi disciples, Ishvara Puri and Paramananda Puri were very dear to Madhavendra Puri. Thus, Paramananda Puri, like Svarupa Damodara, who was also a sannyasi, was very dear to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and was his constant associate. When Lord Chaitanya accepted the renounced order, Paramananda Puri offered him the danda. Paramananda Puri was always engaged in meditation, and Sri Svarupa was always engaged in chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. As Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu offered full respect to his spiritual master Ishvara Puri, he similarly respected Paramananda Puri and Svarupa Damodara. It is described in Chaitanya Bhagavata Antya Leela, chapter 3, that when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu first saw Paramananda Puri, he made the following statement, Bengali. My eyes, my mind, my religious activities, and my acceptance of the sannyasa order have now all became perfect because today Madhavendra Puri is manifest before me in the form of Paramananda Puri. Chaitanya Bhagavata further states, thus Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu exchanged respectful obeisances with Paramananda Puri, who was very dear to him. Paramananda Puri established a small monastery behind the western side of the Jagannatha temple, where he had a well dug to supply water. The water, however, was bitter, and therefore Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu prayed to Lord Jagannatha to allow Ganges water to come into the well to make it sweet. When Lord Jagannatha granted the request, Lord Chaitanya told all the devotees that from that day hence, the water for Paramananda Puri well should be celebrated as Ganges water. For any devotee who would drink it or bathe in it would certainly get the same benefit as that derived from drinking or bathing in the waters of Ganges. Such a person would certainly develop pure love of Godhead. It is stated in Chaitanya Bhagavatam. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to say, I'm living in this world only on account of the excellent behavior of Sri Paramananda Puri. The Gaura Ganadesha Deepika, verse 18 states, quote, Paramananda Puri is none other than Uddhava. Quote. Uddhava was Lord Krishna's friend and uncle, and in Chaitanya Leela, the same Uddhava became the friend of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his uncle in terms of their relationship in the disciplic succession. So here is the end of story of Paramananda Puri. Now Keshava Bharati. Just for you to know, Keshava Bharati was the one who offered sannyas. He was sannyas guru of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He was, we'll read it here because Bharati is actually the sampradaya which usually belongs to a Shankara school, but here Srila Prabhupada explains that it's not necessarily the case. The Saraswati Bharati and Puri Sampradayas belong to the Sringeri Matha in South India, and Sri Keshav Bharati, who at that time was situated in a monastery in Katwa, belonged to the Bharati Sampradaya. According to some authoritative opinions, although Keshav Bharati belonged to the Shankara Sampradaya, he was formerly initiated by a Vaishnava. He is supposed to have been a Vaishnava on account of having been initiated by Madhavendra Puri. For some say that he took sannyasa from Madhavendra Puri. The temple and deity worship started by Keshav Bharati are still existing in the village known as Khatundi, which is under the postal jurisdiction of Kandare in the district of Burdwan. According to the managers of that matha, the priests are descendants of Keshav Bharati, and some say that the worshippers of the deity are descendants of the sons of Keshav Bharati. Well, he was a sannyasi. Anyway, in his householder life, he had two sons, Nishapati and Ushapati, and a Brahmana of the name Sri Nikadichandra Vidyaratnam, who was a member of the family of Nishapati, uh, was a priest in charge at the time that Sri Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati visited the temple. According to some, the priests of the temple belonged to the family of Keshav Bharati's brother. Still, another opinion is that they descended from Madhava Bharati, who was another disciple of Keshav Bharati. Madhava Bharati's disciple Balabhadra, who also later became a sannyasi of the Bharati Sampradaya, had two sons in his family life named Madana and Gopala. Madana, whose family surname was Bharati, lived in the village of Auriya, and Gopala, whose family surname was Brahmachari, lived in the village of Denduda. There are still many living descendants of both families. In Gaura Ganadesha Dipika, verse 52, it is said, quote, Sandipani Muni, who formerly offered the sacred thread to Krishna and Balarama, later became Keshava Bharati. It is he who offered sannyasa of Sri Chaitanya sannyasa to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. There is another statement from the Gaura Ganadesha Dipika, verse 117. Iti kechit prabhasante krura Keshava Bharati. According to some authoritative opinions, Keshava Bharati is an incarnation of Akrura. Keshav Bharati offered the sannyasa order to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the year 1432 Shakabda, or 1510 after the Christ, in Katwa. This is stated in the Vaishnava Manjusha Part 2. So this is end of quotations about Keshav Bharati. So basically, Keshav Bharati was a sannyas guru of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and here is some of the facts of his life. And it's very interesting that Sandipani Muni, who was the spiritual master of Krishna and Balaram, he was actually a Shiva follower. Did you know this? Sandipani Muni, who was the spiritual master of Krishna and Balaram, he was a Shiva follower. Do you know why? Because Krishna and Balaram, when they wanted to accept a guru, they didn't want to be recognized. They wanted to be menial servants because they knew if they would accept Vaishnava guru, he would immediately recognize them as a supreme personality of Godhead, and they would worship them, and no school, no school life. So Krishna and Balaram decided to go to Sandipani Muni, who was very learned, who knew all the arts. In Krishna book, there are 64 arts described which Krishna and Balaram learned from Sandipani Muni, they learned all the languages, and they learned how to remember, but there were some painting and really funny things, but really also very practical things. And anyway, they learned, and then afterwards, Sandipani Muni got some. He understood that these two boys are not like simple boys; they are special. So then he, as a dakshina, he asked what? To get back their son. Their son had died, and they actually drowned, and they went first to Varuna Dev and asked for Varuna for the son of their spiritual master. But Varuna said, "I don't. They already passed. I don't have them. Go to Yamaraj." So then they went to Yamaraj. Anyway, different story. So now Keshava Bharati, there is similarities because Keshava Bharati appears to be a sannyasi coming from Shankara school, coming from the school of Shiva. No, not Shiva. Shankaracharya was actually Shiva, Shiva himself, who came to preach the Mayavad philosophy, who came to establish actually the Vedic principles after the Buddhism have like destroyed all the Vedic principles or disregarded all the Vedic principles and but established ahimsa. On this basis, Shankaracharya came to preach same thing as Buddhists did, but on the basis of Vedas. So Keshav Bharati appears to be the one in Shankara school, initiated sannyasi, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu takes initiation from him. But here we read Srila Prabhupada said that no. Keshav Bharati, maybe he was outwardly from the Shankara school, but he was Vaishnava, he was initiated by Madhavendra Puri. So now Brahmananda Puri. Next one. Shri Brahmananda Puri was one of the associates of Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu while he was performing Kirtana in Navadvipa. And he also joined Lord Chaitanya in Jagannath Puri. We may note in this connection that the name Brahmananda is accepted not only by Mayavadi sannyasis, but Vaishnava sannyasis also. One of our foolish god brothers criticized our sannyasi Brahmananda Swami, saying that this was a Mayavadi name. The foolish man did not know that Brahmananda does not always refer to the impersonal. Parabrahman, the supreme Brahman, is Krishna. A devotee of Krishna can therefore also be called Brahmananda. What is the meaning of Brahmananda? Brahma Ananda? Bliss of Brahman, exactly. The bliss, the Ananda, which is coming from Brahman realization. So the bliss which we have through relationship with Krishna is also Brahmananda, because he is a Parabrahman. This is evident from the fact that Brahmananda Puri was one of the chief sannyasi associates of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And so that was Brahmananda Puri, and now is Brahmananda Bharati, another one. Brahmananda Bharati went to see Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at Jagannath Dhama. At that time, he used to wear only a deer skin to cover himself. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu indirectly indicated that he did not like this deer skin covering. Brahmananda Bharati therefore gave it up and accepted a loincloth of saffron color as used by Vaishnava sannyasis. For some time he lived with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at Jagannath Puri. And someone of you maybe knows this story of Brahmananda Bharati? It's a very funny and very interesting, let's say, how Shri Krishna Chaitanya indicated that he doesn't like them. Because Brahmananda Bharati, he came in the deer skin, and at that time that was kind of not a fashion, but this was something out of the box. Because we hear from Srimad Bhagavatam that the renouncers wear deer skin, and he made it barely out of desire for glorification, for some awe and reverence offered to him. And Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu could feel this, and when they were, I think when they were having kirtan and dancing or something, one of the associates of Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said to him, Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, see, Brahmananda Bharati came to see you. And Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he said, where is he? I don't see Brahmananda Bharati here. And here he is. No, this is not Brahmananda Bharati. I don't know this person. And Brahmananda Bharati understood, oh, Lord Chaitanya does not recognize me. He is not, he is not, he sees that I want this outer dress is not out of my renunciation, but for want of glorification. So he went and changed the clothes immediately, and he said, and then when he came again, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, "Oh, Brahmananda Bharati, I'm so happy to see you. So nice you're here." And Brahmananda Bharati said, "My dear Lord, your teachings are tough. I cannot bear you ignoring me, so I changed my dress." So it's an interesting way to. It's like my mom told me that someone was teaching like this a small boy. The one grandmother she had there was she had an Enkelkind, has this grandchild, a boy, and he was very naughty. He was like doing all kind of nonsense, and this grandmother she said, "Who is this boy? I don't know this boy. My grandchild is very peaceful and very how do you say very well behaved, and I don't know this boy. Do you know him?" This boy, no, I'm your grandson. So behave. A very interesting way to show the right behavior, to teach the right behavior. So this verse is very interesting. This verse, the sequence of verses is very interesting because we see that Krishna himself is a trunk of the tree of devotional service, but his devotees are the roots, and later on we will see that his devotees are also the branches. Although Krishna himself is a trunk, we hear that by his inconceivable powers he is a gardener, the trunk, and the branches simultaneously. But then he describes how his devotees are also the branches, and there are different branches coming from Advaita Acharya, from Nityananda Prabhu, from Gadadhar, from here, from there, and those branches are unlimited. And then later on, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying that every branch is bearing the fruit, love of God. Each branch, each devotee of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is a branch of the tree, and twig and branch and twig, and each one is bearing the fruit. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying that this each branch is bearing a fruit, and I'm the only gardener, and there are so many fruits. How can I bring all these fruits to the people? I'm the only one gardener, and there are so many branches. So you please help me. Yeah, I order you. You please take these fruits and distribute all over the world. And I was thinking because now this is we will not talk about the topic of distributing. The verses still will come, and someone will talk on this topic. But I was thinking that the devotees are the branches and the roots of the tree, and we have to learn to associate properly with these branches. We are also the branches. Well, and how important to associate with the devotees in the right way. And I didn't know whether here are only like devotees who know the tattva will be, or the volunteers. So I couldn't prepare well, but I prepared some of the quotations, and So I was listening recently a lecture of my Guru Maharaj, and he was lecturing on the 11th canto of Shrimad Bhagavatam, and there was this beautiful, beautiful verse. Parasparanukathanam pavanam bhavat bhagavat yasha mithoratir mithash tushtir nivritir mitha atmanah. One should learn how to associate with the devotees of the Lord by gathering with them to chant the glories of the Lord. This process is most purifying. As devotees thus develop their loving relationship, they feel mutual happiness and satisfaction. And by thus encouraging one another, they are able to give up material sense gratification, which is the cause of all suffering. Very beautiful verse and very lots of points. So the association of Vaishnavas is very, very potent and very, very important. And when associating with Vaishnavas, what do? We can chat, we can hang out, and which is also socialize, which is also important, and just have friendship on the just material level as we got used to. But we can also go Shri Radha Madan Mohan ki jai, Shri Gorantai ki jai, Giriraj Maharaj ki jai. But we can also go deeper into relationship, and what do? We gather to chant the glories of the Lord. Guru Maharaj, when he is asked, like, but what should I do? I cannot bear these devotees, or they just bother me, or something. What should I do? He said, you just gather in kirtan together. Like, you sing together, nice devotees. You start talking to them, not so nice. But then you again sing kirtan, again nice devotees, right? When you sing kirtan together, everyone is nice. Everyone is you just see he's glorifying devotee, he's glorifying the Lord. He's nice. So we may not be able to connect to each other on some social level, on some character levels, on some whatever, on material level. We cannot. We're just of different character, but we can come together and glorify the Lord. We don't need to even to exchange opinions in kirtan, because there is only one opinion. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is so beautiful and so wonderful, and we just need to worship Him, give our full heart to it. This is one level, and on this level we can be friends with everyone. We can at least try to cooperate, just sing together, dance together, and then when we need to exchange on different level, then we can just take some distance until our heart is purified, because mostly the problem is in our heart. We cannot communicate with someone. This process is most purifying. As devotees thus develop their loving friendship, they feel mutual happiness and satisfaction. How do the devotees develop the loving friendship? What do you know about the developing loving friendship between the devotees? How do we do this? What is the process?
Krishna, as I understood it, starts with appreciation.
Appreciation starts with appreciation. Thank you. Some Shastric quotations towards it? Verse in Nectar of Instruction. Nice. 6 exchanges of love.
6 million exchanges.
Yes. You want to quote it?
Giving and receiving gifts, giving and receiving prasad,
Giving and receiving gifts,
revealing your
giving and
mind,
receiving prasad,
revealing your mind in confidence.
revealing your mind in confidence.
Something else.
And listen very attentively. Dadati pratigrihnati guhyam makyati prichhati bhunte bhojayate chaiva shadviti something pretty lakshana, pretty something which develops love. Those are six kind of exchange which are. You want to comment something? You have a question? Then write your question somewhere on your phone or somewhere, and we'll have question answer. Yeah, TK, we'll have question answer time. Pretty Lakshana. Should be the pretty Lakshana.
Offering gifts in charity, accepting charitable gifts, revealing one's mind in confidence, inquiring confidentially, accepting prasad and offering prasad. Yeah, those things.
Yes. So it's very easy. And this is actually, Srila Prabhupada would say that even in the business world, you invite someone, your business partner, you invite him to restaurant, you offer him some food, you offer him some gift, even though he may not need this gift. But this is a loving exchange, develops relationship. So very easy and already a little bit more difficult than just glorifying the Lord together, because one need to have already some relationship to in order to come with this first step of coming and serving to someone, giving to someone some prasadam gift or some other gift, and in order to reveal your mind to someone and listen in confidence or inquire in confidence, you need really deep relationship. You need really you need to know that this person will keep the secrets if you reveal some secrets, and will not judge you if you tell something which is out of the box. And like this. But those six things, they are developing friendship more deeper. And thus encouraging one another, they are able to give up material sense gratification, which is the cause of all suffering. So thus, if we have such a deep relationship with devotees, then we are able actually to take to see the example and to take up this example, and how it is happening. It's very wonderfully commented, given in the comment. I'll just. Srila Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakur has pointed out that glorification of the Supreme Lord is especially potent when performed in the association of pure devotees. When devotees engaged in Sankirtana, chanting the glories of the Lord together, they experience the highest transcendental bliss and satisfaction. Thus, they encourage one another to give up material sense gratification, which is based on illicit sexual connections with women. One devotee will say to another, "Oh, you have given up sense gratification. Starting today, I shall also give it up." So one friend can tell to another friend, can see, "Oh, this my friend, he made the next step. I'm also inspired. I also want. This is very important when we tell something to our in the assembly of Vaishnavas, then we will follow it. Right, when we are giving our when we're telling at the initiation ceremony, when we're giving our vows, we're not just giving vows to our Guru Maharaj, but we are giving our vows in the assembly of devotees. I will not eat meat, eggs, and fish. I will not do this. I will not do that. And devotees say, Haribol! And someone among this crowd who is not yet initiated maybe may think, wow, such an enthusiasm, such a determination. I want also like this. I want also like this. It will come up. This desire will come up to give up the sense gratification and to take the vows of this. So this is what the association is making. It is the example is given that association is like is like a crystal. You know, when you through the crystal you put some light, the crystal takes the color of that light. Put the red light through the crystal, the crystal stayed, stone becomes red, and you put some blue light, it becomes blue. So association is like this. When we take association from someone, we accept their qualities, we accept their opinions, we accept their whatever. Therefore, it's so important to have a right association in the right way. So what is the right way of associating with Vaishnavas? We told now about the graduality of this process, right? We can come all together in kirtan and sing together, and it will develop some relationship, and then we can, with some devotees, we can start the love in exchange. But there is also another gradation, which is also mentioned in the Nectar of Instruction. Nectar of Instruction is actually, there are quite a few verses, 3 or 4 verses, which are mentioning devotee association. So this second verse of Nectar of Instruction is telling about things which spoil the devotional service, and the asat sangha, the associated with worldly minded people who are not interested in Krishna consciousness. And in this associating is meant that we accept them as friends and take their opinions and accept their opinions, and we can give association to worldly minded people, but we cannot take it. Giving means preaching. We just give them our books, give them our prasadam, give them whatever love we have, but we don't accept their worldview. We acknowledge their worldview, but we don't accept it in our how do you call it? We don't make their worldview to our worldview. This is meant under accepting association. So the third verse is telling about 6 principles which are favorable for pure devotional service, and following in the footsteps of previous acharyas. In the Sanskrit, it's Sangatyaga Satovrite. We reject the association of worldly minded people and accept or follow the Sattaha. Sattaha are the saintly persons. Then the first verse which we were reading was the one about the 6 exchangers. And the 5th verse is telling how should we exchange with different devotees of different levels. One should mentally honor the devotee who chants the holy name of Lord Krishna. So if someone just started to chant and chanting, reading, and he might not have developed yet Vaishnava qualities. He might not be humble or fully like super Krishna conscious, and um, humble, tolerant, and peaceful, and well behaved, and he might he just went under the shower, and he's still dirty, but he is in the process. So such a person we mentally honor. We don't disregard these people. We don't criticize them. Oh, you have this and this bad qualities, and you're like this and like that. No, they started to change. They're in the process. So we mentally honor them. We don't show them outwardly respect, because it might spoil them. It might be uh, um, might cultivate their false ego, because they're still not able to fully control to see their false ego. Even they might not be able to. We praise them in a good way. We encourage them to perform things, but we don't give them respects like we give to a spiritual master, for example. One should offer humble obeisances to the devotee who has undergone spiritual initiation, diksha. So if some devotee was determined enough to take initiation, who took the vows and is following them strictly, and he's chanting and following all the rules and regulations, this kind of person is praiseworthy. He is such a devotee. We can offer our respectful obeisances, and uh, it was, for me, it was like shocking. I was when I was first time seeing the Vishwavasa Prabhu, and what's his name? I forgot. Another super senior devotee book distributor. They, when they saw each other in Cologne, in the floor, they just Vanchakalpadrubhisha and fall flat on the floor. And I'm like standing there, like, don't know what to do. They are offering respectful obeisances. They are honoring each other. They see this as a devotee who fully dedicated his life to spreading Krishna consciousness, to fulfill the order of spiritual masters. They took initiation, and they fully took it, basically. So they offering mutual obeisances. So if one is offering obeisances to another, another one is immediately flat on the ground. Immediately. This is mutual respect. And one should offer humble obeisances to the devotee who has undergone spiritual initiation, diksha, and engage in worship of the deity. One should associate with and faithfully serve that pure devotee who is advanced in undeviated devotional service and whose heart is completely devoid of propensity to criticize others. Strong, no? This propensity of criticizing others, this is lying deep, deep in our heart. This is the root of it is envy, and envy is the root cause of our being in this material world. Envy towards Krishna. We thought, why he, why not me? In the center, right? So whenever we see someone more advanced, we tend to try to find some faults in such a person, to just drag this person to our level, so that I don't feel so bad. Right? This is a tendency of the false ego, envy, criticism. So if a person has lost this tendency, has just given it up, then such a person we can serve faithfully and try to associate as much as possible with such a person, and do whatever this person asks us. This is In this way, we will be able to accommodate this, to receive this this beautiful quality of uh, being free from the tendency of criticize others. This is those are spiritual teachers. Those are highly elevated devotees who who are very dear to Krishna, who are very close to Krishna. But not only those who are officially spiritual teachers, but we can see if a person is highly elevated and is not criticizing them, but always praising devotees and always trying to help others, to serve others. This person we can just try to associate as much as possible and to serve them in any way we can. Those are the how many? Three, four? Three ways to associate. There is another slightly different gradation. I don't remember where it's given, but it's taught in the Bhakta course that you have younger devotees. Younger means those who are less advanced, who are just the beginners. You have equals, and you have the seniors. So the younger, the material tendency, the tendency of false ego is to ausbeuten, to, to exploit, yes, to exploit the youngers. Right, we have someone who is younger, and we want him to do everything for us. But the spiritual way is we need to take care, give attention, give support, try to help. Material view, spiritual view. With the equals, the tendency is to compete. I'm better than you, right? And if I'm not, then I'll try to become better. The spiritual tendency is to make friendships, to inspire one another to become better, like we heard in this verse of Srimad Bhagavatam. And those who are seniors, is the material tendency is just to, like I said, to criticize, to drag us to our level, but the spiritual way is to serve the seniors, to get their instructions, to follow the instructions, like this. So I just make a recap. We hear today about the tree of devotional service, where Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, by his inconceivable potencies, became the gardener, the trunk of the tree, the branches and the roots, but then also his dear devotees became the roots of that tree, and we will see that the other devotees became also the branches, and each of the branches bearing the fruit of love of God. And so we need, in order to get this love of God, this fruit of love of God, we need to associate with the devotees in the right way. And we described that singing or glorifying the Lord together is one of the ways in which, even we may not like one another, we may be on material level of different character, this is the way we can still come together and develop relationship. And then this developing the relationship further is done by the 6 kind of exchanges: giving gifts, receiving gifts, offering prasadam, accepting prasadam, and revealing one's heart, and listening as someone reveals one's heart. Those are done when their relationship already, some relationship exists, at least there is no grudge. And those 6 exchanges, they deepen our relationships. And then how should we listened how we should um, uh, deal with each other on different levels. So the younger we take care and we offer them all respect in the mind, and the equals we make friendships with them and offer our obeisances. We recognize their devotion to Krishna, and to those who are highly elevated and who are free of criticism, we offer all respects. We spend as much time as we can. We serve them in all ways we can do. So, are there some comments, questions? You had some question. Okay, well, no problem. There's.
I have two questions, if it's possible.
Mhm.
You said with whom, regarding of businesses, with whom we are on the equal level. I don't feel with nobody on the equal level. I'm a beginner, but I'm older. So this is only thing from age, maybe. But if we feel with someone a little more close and hard, also like friendship, how far would you recommend to still write or say, please accept my humble obeisances, or is it someone that sometimes will be also a little disturbing the relationship, that is too formal, or what is your recommendation or opinion regarding this?
It's German mentality for for formal relationship. In Ukraine, the brahmacharis, they even talk per z to each other, and this doesn't disturb the relationship in any way. It's those are very sweet relationships, but they English speaking do not understand. There is in German and in Ukrainian language there is like a do, you as to a friend, and there is the approaching z as like to someone senior, you say. The, so the brahmacharis even among themselves, and men to women talk and this doesn't disturb the relationship in any way. The formality doesn't disturb, and those exchanges are very sweet. But just the German culture is just different. If you feel it will disturb, then you don't do. But the offering obeisance is something which is not formal, but a very sweet process. Offer if it's mutual. If you offer obeisances and a devotee does not understand and is not offering you in back, then it means that he is not yet ripe. This devotee is not yet ready for these depths of relationship. Then you don't do. If there is no mutuality of this, then you just don't disturb the minds of people and don't do. But this is something which is very, very sweet, which is not, it's not formal.
In earlier times, as I grew up in the GDR, the Eastern Germany, and we had much more the formal address, like the, but it was always from heart.
Yes.
And later, with these, as we became reunited, and this more English style, with everyone is you and you, and I don't feel so comfortable at all with it, because for me, it's more a heart relationship must be there, on this you level. Yeah, thank you very much. My second question is, at the very beginning you said this chapter shows, this is the favorite chapter of the Guru Maharaj, and this chapter shows how insignificant our service is.
Not how insignificant, how important our insignificant input, our small input, not how important our small input in for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, even our most small, our smallest input is.
Because we have to just
Yes, because how many Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, I'm only gardener. How many fruits can I distribute? I'm one. Only. So you take and distribute. You're the branches, but this tree, it said further in the chapter, this tree is movable. It's not just so you can move. You dear devotees, you become the distributors. Take these fruits and distribute them all over the world. Mhm.
Actually, I also have many questions, but I will just pick the easy one because of time reasons. So, um, yeah, about the six exchanges of the devotees. Like Rupa Goswami is writing actually food, not prasada, in the Bhakti Rasa
He's writing what?
He's
Food.
writing
Food.
food instead of prasada. Prasada is not Prabhupada and said. And what I thought on that is that the devotees maybe appreciate the food, the boga more than prasad, because they can offer it more pleasure. Do you think this is correct?
Who writes prasad?
I mean, in the verse that I have, it's written prasad.
It's in translation. Bhunte bhojayate, something which is enjoyable. Don't speculate. I would say Srila Prabhupada translating prasadam not just like from nothing. Just prasadam should be enjoyable. Cook something nice for devotees. Offer it to the Lord and offer it to devotees. You can bring both. If you know that a devotee has deities which he worships, then you can bring bhoga as a gift, and they will give it to their deities. There was one devotee. His name was Kalidas. He's a very, very, very advanced devotee. This devotee had a vow that he will take Mahaprasadam from all the Vaishnavas from the West Bengal. Mahaprasadam means food rest from the Vaishnavas. Food rest from the Vaishnavas. He will eat. And he came to everyone and asked, please, can you give me your food rest? And the Vaishnavas are very humble, they would not do. So in one of such cases, he came to one family. Those were Vaishnavas from the Shudra family. They were Vaishnavas, but their social level was low. And he came there and asked, "Please, can you give me your food dress?" And they said, "Are you saying we are Shudras and you are Brahmin and you're asking our food dress? You will be." Polluted with our food rest. Now, never will we do this. So he made it differently. He brought them some bhoga, actually, some mangoes, and he said, "This is for your deities." And they offered it to their deities, and they ate, and he was waiting in the bush. And when they throw the peels and the stone, he picked it up and chewed on it. So by doing like this, he got the biggest mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When there was Gundicha Marjana, the cleaning of Gundicha temple, there were Vaishnavas who wanted to wash the feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and drink the Charinamrita from the feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very, very angry with his devotees. He never ever allowed anyone to wash his feet and drink the Charinamrita. But when Kalidas came, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was in ecstasy, and Kalidas took the jug of water and poured it on the feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and drank once, and he poured it. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu didn't say a word. He poured second time and drank it. He poured third time and drank it, and then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, "Kalidas, enough." So if there is you can ask devotees if you want to give them something. You can ask them, do you prefer bhoga or prasad? Do you have deities? Do you worship some deities? Do you prefer something I bring for your deities? The most important here is exchange, love in exchange. But Srila Prabhupada writes prasadam so that because nectar of instruction is a preaching book. This book which is meant for to be distributed, and he in the purport he explains also what prasadam is, and that we offer sanctified food for the people, and they give some remuneration or something for the devotees. He's writing the purport in very preaching mood. And also, most of the Vaishnavas living here, not most, but many don't have the deities, and they prefer prasadam because then they can immediately, enjoy it. They can immediately take it. So if you offer bhoga, you should tell it's bhoga. If you offer prasad, better tell it's prasad.
What about the nectar of instruction? Is it really a preacher book? Because it feels like advanced,
It's advanced.
To know the Bhagavad Gita before.
You will be very surprised, but there was a studies. The devotees, Adipurusha Prabhu tells us, when he gives the Bhakti Shastri or Nectar of Instruction, the devotees at some point they paid some company, some research company, and this research company they researched all the books and analyzed all the books of Srila Prabhupada. And they said that Nectar of Instruction is actually the best book for distributing on the streets to the people, because there are precise and clear instructions. There is a whole philosophy in this book from the very beginning till the very end, and it's very clear what to do. Very, very precise, very clear. Goes from easy to the highest level. It might be a book which is not so easy to accept. It's not so like wishy-washy, like here and there, and not so simple to accept. But it's very clear book. It's a very clear book, and very often, like same with Ishopanishad. Very often, people getting the clear instruction, they tend to rather accept it easier than to have signs of self-realization, where it's just like some easygoing discussions and no particular. I mean, Srila Prabhupada everywhere is particular, but it's more like easy going and easy to read, and so it may be more convincing. Hard, but more convincing. So like this. So it is actually a preaching book. Yes.
May I shortly please ask, what do you tell to the people when you recommend? Because for me it was also, as I found it also very high, this book, even after reading Bhagavad Gita. What do you tell to the people on the street when you recommend this book? What is your
Unfortunately, we don't have any more this book for book distribution. It was distributed over the years. Now the Nectar of Instruction is just there are a few copies for the shops until they will print it. But whenever I get it and I need to give it to the people, I said there are 11 instructions. This is a success book. If you follow the instructions in this book, your spiritual life will be perfect. That's it. That's everything what people need to know, and it's true. I don't say the relationship with God or something, but just it's a success book, and it is. It starts with Vacho Vigamana Sakrodha Vegan. You need to control your senses, control your tongue, control your speech, control your everything. And very clear instruction. Hard to do, but if you do, you will be successful.
Now, clear instructions don't always mean easy.
Simple, but not easy. That was like Srila Prabhupada said, it's a simple process. It's so simple. But then devotees came to him and said, Prabhupada, you said it's so simple, but it's so hard. So Prabhupada said, I told you it's simple, but I never told it's easy. Now you're caught, now you have to follow. Well, but no. And any instruction which tells us to change our life is not easy, right? And because we're just so put in our own boundaries and so hard to go out. Anyway, we're already over time. I would say we stop here. Thank you very much. Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaur Bhaktavrinda ki jai.
Jai.